I know, I have monetization on. So I actually get like 2 cents every time one of those ads shows up. Yep, my whole $6 paycheck is gonna go great. I can almost buy enough tea to make up for the amount that I actually spend for streams. Hey, thanks Ray for the Twitch Prime sub. You've now turned my $6 paycheck into an $8 paycheck. Congratulations, man. Thank you, really. This means a lot, guys. Thanks. We're gonna give it like another like 3.5 minutes to get in, for other people to show up, and then we're gonna keep going with the game. Ooh. Albums of the music. I'll be honest, I have the soundtrack for this game as one of the things that just floats around on my phone, and for 1 and 2, and I just listen to it walking around Iceland here, because it is the peak soundtrack choice to walk around Iceland. Ooh. I really should get it on making like the starting soon thing, so I don't have to sit here and try to fill space for 5 minutes. Well, I keep having bigger things to worry about though. Hi, Leander. And hi, Ruby. We're getting a pretty good group here. We're gonna get started in about like a minute and a half, so we're gonna get in. Weapon triangle. That would be very silly in a game that has mostly like maces. Yeah, I have. Well, we'll see when we get in here. Like, you have the guys have some kind of mace or spiked club. I know, it's weird. It's weird. There are some people with axes and some people with swords, and then like half the bar will have maces. It's like, I mean, kind of makes sense from a purely practical standpoint. It's way harder to break a mace than it is to break a sword, but as a weapon in a Viking game, that's confusing. Let's use a 13th century flanged mace against people with no armor. Luckily, no horned helmets, just people with horns and helmets. Big brain avoidance. Anyway, let's get into it. No, just Barl. Let's take a look at where we are. since it's been a week, kind of remind everyone where we're at. We have a map. We have a very pretty map. We are in Einartoft. And there's this big giant bridge running north here across the pass that is currently completely filled up with dredge. So stone people that are trying to kill us. And sadly, blowing up the bridge is not an option. So, yeah, we've escaped all the way from way out here over to here, and are now trying to see how long we can survive. Not a great plan. Especially since we're short our best unit by quite a bit. We do have Krumer and we do have Fazold, but we're missing Ivar because he got his arm chopped off last stream. Turns out that's not a good plan. So you should be at the very end of that. We'll use Krumer and nope, Odleifer over that. I'm tempted to upgrade him. I'll do that. But we are not going to blow up the bridge yet, because, yeah. We've got a few options. We can go up into the Great Hall. We can just bail. Just fuck it, we're out. Or we can blow up the bridge. We need the renown, so we are not going to blow up the bridge yet. Alright, Jorundir. You'll do as I say. And, yo, this is clearly not going so well. Rook is trying to persuade this guy who looks really not eager to do it. You can see he's very much injured from the escape from Grotheim, and also has, even by Norse standards, that's a very heavy gold disc on his chest. Also, once again, while we're talking about fashion, I need to make shoutouts to these two brooches. One of them would be fine, and on a cloak they're barely acceptable, but for the most part, this double round brooch is a kind of stereotypically female Viking Age outfit, usually with a two-color like apron dress that these hold up the front part of the apron. But we're finally seeing why Ivar went against Bellower. So Ingvar, as he used to be known, confronted a Sunder in his youth during the Great Wars. He won that fight. None others but the Menders have done that. He proved us stronger. Maybe he thought to do it again. And then, for some reason, after doing that, killing one of the leaders of the dredge, he just bailed. Whoop whoop. What is so important about that bridge? This one is actually kind of an important thing to know. Every man I've ever met thinks he'd rival the gods himself if only he were in charge. I am over 400 years old, and I know that I know little. You are a child, an infant, yet you know everything. Listen, human, this story is not about you. If you jumped from that bridge today, the world would not change. Now either help Faisal retake it or leave my city, I don't care which. Well then. Sadly, I thought he was going to actually say why he cares so much, but he didn't. Still, we now have the option to fight on the bridge. We're gonna fight this time instead of healing. And this big thing here. We're losing supplies, but we're gonna get renown to buy more supplies. We're actually gonna also upgrade Krumer, I think. Even though that spends most of our remaining renown, he really quite badly needs that. Also, Odleif, we're actually going to move up in the ranks. Because Odleif has a ton of shield of break because of her thing. Which means she can use that quite handily. We'll actually use Rook later in the order. There. I think that's how we'll do it. So, we are on a bridge going against a whole bunch of dredge. Well, a whole bunch. Not that many. And thank you very much, Philip, for the sub. It really does mean a lot. Odleif kind of has a problem here against this group. But what I'm hopeful for is that Ael is going to take all of this damage from a rank 2 shield wall. That he just takes 5 less damage now, so what I'm hoping is that they'll all attack him. Oh, they're going to leave spike. Some of those, okay. And we burned a bunch of morale to hit someone extremely hard. Cool. That worked. It got the aggro up. And that breaks his armor and he runs away again. This is working out actually ideally. We're going to put him behind to give Krumer armor, and then we'll wait. And if we run up here, that guy can just die, which is actually huge. You did not send me the text to that, no. Sadly, that ordering is just bad for what I'm trying to do. Cool. He just completely resisted it. Ael, thank you for being good. I need to learn how to play Mountain Blade first. But then, yeah, that's definitely on the list, both the base game and the Vikings DLC. That's alright. Philip, I need way more practice in knowing how to, like, use or read Danish anyway, so singing him a woman the unga would be good. And we'll burn all of this to one-shot this guy. And you have 8. That's not enough. Hmm. How do I want to do that? I think if I go here, I can burn that down too. And he's now so far away. Oofed. That was bad. But he does get one shot, so never mind. We're fine. Ow. I think going up there is still... Nay. This actually goes badly for me, I think. Because he has enough to get around to me. Oh jeez. Thanks so much, Robin. Thank you guys so much. 7-2, he cannot... What's his exertion? His exertion is 2. He hits for 2. He kills one of them. Unlucky. Nay. Abilities meant... It really doesn't matter which one I do, because the other one will go down. So we'll heal Rook up. Oh, he just, like, didn't do it. He just did not do the thing I thought he would. Cool. Stonewall, rank 2, check. Oh gosh, that went well. Oh, Crusader Kings 2 is absolutely on the schedule, don't worry. Crusader Kings 3 is also on the schedule when it comes out. Again, games that I need to learn how to do good. I am also very excited for it, but... definitely some difficulties. Mark Prey. 2 breaks since I got plenty of morale, and that's kills. I have tried Crusader Kings 2, and I just bounced off it really hard. And there's just... have not spent enough time with it to get in, but I'll try before running out of oomph in Iceland. I'm running out of time in Iceland. I'll try and spend some quality time just learning the systems of a couple of those games. So that went well, I think. We took no casualties, which is huge. That means we can do the same thing again right away. We have 8 days worth of renown. 3 RRS plus 2 aggro. Nay. Okay, we can spend basically all that renown to get a few more days of food. We're not going to do that. Here's a question. What do you guys think we should do? Should we blow up the bridge? Should we just bail, or should we just keep trying to hold out here? I'll do another fight on the bridge while you guys we can talk about that and see what's going on. Save the bridge. Yeah, where? We have someone who can cast magic. We don't have explosives, but we do have we do have a mender who can throw lightning around. So we're gonna do one more fight. We're gonna buy a bunch of supplies, then we'll blow up the bridge. Hopefully no one gets injured, because I'd really like to have this team exactly be up. So actually, we don't have anyone better to do it with. We're gonna see explosions soon-ish. Yeah, I do need to buy the Old Gods expansion to do the Vikings properly, but want to learn the base systems first, then start messing with DLC and expansions. Unless if there's any that make the game more accessible, cause oh boy, that would be huge. we could try and become, well, there will be, it would still be folk, not filk. The filk I think is East Norse, but you know, West Norse would still say folk. A folken for the plural of folk. Anyway, linguistic shenanigans aside, we've got more people here. We've got 3 slingers in the corner. Oh, Leander, that would make perfect sense. You're a bit off on the dates are a bit off depending on when it starts, but there were Umayyad incursions all the way up to Toch in 763. So that where Charles Martel pushed back a army of. Oh yeah, because he's got aggro. That's why. Aggro's good on him. It went all the way. Yeah, it is Charlemagne's grandfather, Charles Martel, the Hammer, wound up fending off a pretty big battle at Tours, which kind of draws the line for a while at the Pyrenees for the Umayyad Spain. That gets pushed back farther. The song of La Chanson de Roland tells of an attempt to take back Barcelona, and Roland, one of Charlemagne's lieutenants, gets ambushed on the way back in the Pyrenees and dies. But in the end, pretty much just becomes that. Pretty much is just standard that was too far forward. I should not have done that, but that's okay. Oh, annoying. Because I don't want to rush all the way up, because that's in range of too many people. Because if he can hit me, and he can hit me, and he can hit me... Well, actually, who's next on the docket? You, that doesn't matter. Then it's you. Then it's you. Okay, so when does this guy doesn't get to go. He'll be dead before he gets to go. Okay, then that gives me a few more options, because I can run up to here and be able to move around, no problem, later. Huh. That. And this guy can run up. Still nothing great here. Take some pretty hefty damage until attack here. No. Oh, aggro. Huh. I need to remember that Ale will basically always get attacked first. And we'll mark this guy so he can pretty much only... He'll only be doing armor break, which is not great, but not terrible either. And is anyone hurt? Nope, no one's hurt, so we will, I guess, stack up this guy's morale even more. Okay, so that went well. What I'm actually going to have him do is run up here and do the exact same thing. He's just taking damage for us for as long as we have him. Anyway, you deal that, you're gonna die. Oh, Philip. Yeah, that's... The snails in the margins of medieval books were that's something I've heard argued at the Leeds International Medieval Congress last year, was that was a dig at the Lombards. Cool, he resisted that too, which is awesome. He can just die. And so, kind of the main evidence for that is the Lombards tend to show up in two waves, essentially. He can't make it far enough. Annoying. We'll have him actually run off this way then. As though that is not optimal. We'll kill this guy so he doesn't get a turn. And those are bombs, that's no good. Well, I can kill this guy too. He doesn't get to go for a while, but wouldn't be bad. We'll buff up Ale more, though that was probably not ideal. And we can mark this guy. Yes! Oh, come on, please be in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes! I actually didn't need to do it that much. 3 strength, will combo. This is what Eyvinder can do. Boom, boom, boom. Ow. Annoying. Luckily, these guys are now pretty much all trying to do armor break, and aren't so worried about the rest of it. Anyway, the snails are supposed to be a dig at the Lombards. Kind of on the grounds that they were really unpopular. And then, if I set him there, I can nuke him with Eyvind to kill this guy. That's risky, but maybe worth. There's kind of 2 main waves. I'd have to find the notes again, but there's 2 main waves of it appearing, and both are related to time when the Lombards became more prominent around Europe. Okay, so I'm actually not able to do what I wanted to, because well, you're done, so there's not a whole lot going on here. I need to kill this guy, or one of them, as soon as possible. Please, don't run away, don't run away. God damn it. Krumer's almost dead. Helpful. Abilities, Mend. Rank 2. And he doesn't do any. Damn! I am not in a great position. Okay, we're gonna risk it because I need to get pillaged. Every time. It's like, it just doesn't matter. Anyway. We'll try this one then. Cool. Worked this time. So we're in pillage. It's not conflicts with the Pope. It's before that, or it's most of the manuscripts with snails in them come from Northern Europe, and so this is a point where the Lombards, or the nobility of the Lombards, was starting to spread up into the Low Countries and into France, England, or being a little more prominent around there. And it seems to be a mocking reaction to them. So it's actually a semi-secular, not totally secular, but motivated by secular politics more than it is by religious politics, as far as the two can be separated in the Middle Ages. It's not totally clear. Here, let me hold on this note here so I can just get the notes so I can actually do this justice and cite my sources better. Give me just a moment. Nope, I am still here. I just needed to grab a, Nope, that's not the right one, that's not the right one. Animals in Jewish manuscripts. Playing. No. Game studies, more game studies. Animals in marginalia. And medieval Gothic. Here we are, snails. So, these most of the manuscripts with snail combat are from the 13th to 15th centuries, and so the in the 13th century there's this emergence of the Lombards, and this is by Lillian Randall. There's a simultaneous boost in snails showing up in the margins, especially with knights jousting them. And with the appearance in literary just roasting of the Lombards. But the person giving the talk, Julia Pineau, said that this explains the rise of the motive, but doesn't explain why it likes showing up, and why it keeps showing up. There's a whole bunch of other reasons. So let's see. There's actually an interpretation of the snail related to the Immaculate Conception. Like, usually there's a bunch of things with Mary showing up that then also, well, I actually want to get as much as I can here, as bad as that is. So days worth 11, I think that's as good as we get. We're not going to buy any of these. because we can't afford them, and we don't have anyone strong enough for them. So, yo. So much for that. We're going... So, we're gonna blow up the bridge, right? That's what we voted for? Anyway, let me finish this up before we do that, because the bridge is actually going to be harder. So, there's, in a lot of the things surrounding, like, imagery of the Immaculate Conception, and of Gabriel coming to the Virgin Mary, a snail will often appear in that imagery, or on the same page as one of those images. So there's kind of something there related to either the resurrection or the Immaculate Conception, because snails seem to die in the winter and then come back in the spring. So they get resurrected. Therefore, Christ imagery. The Middle Ages did that a lot. Everything could be tied to Christ if you tried hard enough. But in the 15th century, it maybe gets like reappropriated, and there's actually a town in northern Italy, in Lombardy, the town crest is a snail. And so maybe that's a kind of reappropriation of this mockery to try and take the sting out of it a little bit. Anyway, we're going to destroy the bridge. Snails are a really old meme. That is probably the best description. They're just a really old meme. And people found them funny, and found them adaptable to a whole bunch of situations, and so kept just reusing them. So yeah, memes are us. So now we have to survive this. This is gonna be rough. Krumer, Orleif, Echel, Uruk, Avend. I think that's our best group. Oh god, this is gonna be rough. It is incredibly long and incredibly distinguished, and anyone who pretends otherwise is wrong. Okay, this is already bad. This guy's got heavy armor, so that's no fun. What's his armor break? His armor break's 4, too. So he's just gonna run in here and fuck us up if we're not careful. Oh boy. And without Ivar to kind of deal with that on our end, this is gonna be kinda tricky. Oh boy. Is there a reason to back off? Or to start further back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So same number as us, actually. The same number as us. 3 of them with range, 3 of them without. The slingers are up front, but that won't last. I need to get them to come as close as I can. Of course. Ah, crap. Avon's in a bad position. We're gonna rest though. And luckily aggro works. We're also really gonna need to use Orleif's actual skill on this one. I've not used it at all yet, but I'm gonna need to start to. Oh cool, I can one-shot that guy. Does that go well for me? He can't reach. He's not a big risk. That goes okay. I can rescue Eket pretty easily off of this. 8, 9. That's a lot of shield break. That's Hurts a lot. Okay, that's what I was afraid of. Two, four. Breaks that. He'll run away. He should walk forward. Awesome. And I have no good options for blowing things up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I can't put Avind in a spot where he can easily heal Eke. So, that's no good. Luckily, super luckily, Oddleif goes before this guy, so Oddleif can kind of serve as bait to wreck his turn. But that's fine. We'll what we can do, if we go there, can do that for 2 strength, eat for free. I just hit him, but that's not a bad thing. And yeah, he's probably gonna drop. No. The question I've got is, who goes for what? Yo. I don't know how to do this. Because if he's swinging at if he swings for Krumer for 4, that's not terrible. But now then, here's the ultimate question. Who is he going to go for? I think if I do this spot, regardless, he's gonna lose his turn. Though I will have him back off, I guess? No, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna hit on shield break on this guy. Come on, work, work, work. Damn! Wrong. Attack the wrong guy. But, Mark Prey, Strength 2. Kinda worked. Okay. I guess this is when I want to heal up his armor. Like... Not that that makes a huge difference, but it makes some difference. Now, Eke badly needs to take on this. We just gotta burn his armor down as much as possible. But Rook is in trouble. What's Krumer's? His break's only 2. Which is better, back off 1 step? I think it is. It's gotta be back off 1 step and kill this guy. Okay, so Antonio's got the question, hey Adam, were the Norse pantheistic, like, this is a set of deities, or no others exist, or were they polytheists, every god is real? That largely depends on the though the distinction between them is kind of very loose and honestly not entirely real, so just that's a fun shout out, is be warned on that. And that maybe is the kill? No. Oh. Okay. Interesting. I'm not sure what anyone is doing here. But Rook is going to mark prey on this guy again, which should actually be pretty close to a kill, because Oddlife's going to hit him for 8. Rook is in trouble. 1 HP left. Totally fine. This is no big deal. But the Norse definitely acknowledged that, like, there were other gods that could exist. It's one of the reasons why the conversion to Christianity was so relatively painless. Is that there was not any sort of assumption that that's not possible. That Christ could simply be part of the pantheon and we'd be okay. If I can just do 1 damage, that would be pretty cool. Nah, I probably shouldn't do this, but that's fine. Krumer can one-shot that guy. Boop. And you're going to attack the Mender. Fascinating decision. So yeah, they could acknowledge that Christ could be a god alongside Thor and Odin, and it's absolutely a form of syncretism. Q back off. Okay, we can... That's no good. I can't actually do what I wanted to do. I wanted to arc lightning this guy, but you can see that that's going to cause a lot of bad... Wait, how much oomph do all my people have? Okay, so this'll be fun. I will kill Ekek for my troubles, but it'll kill this guy, and it'll do... I can do 5 damage to this guy, which will guarantee... Oh, I can't target my own guy. Okay. Boring. 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't love that. But I have to do it. I absolutely have to do it, because otherwise he dies. And now he doesn't, so... Because I believe if he goes down, I don't get to blow up the bridge. He just goes down. Actually, I want to rest because I want to give Oddlife that kill. Oh, Oddlife can no longer get that kill. That's awkward. Well... Whatever, we'll give Avon the kill, I guess. Come on, 80% chance to bonk him with the staff. That didn't go great, but we did okay. So yo, that is... But yeah, that is absolutely the syncretism to integrate used in the Roman Empire. That is a very similar process. That's kind of the standard process for religious contact in much of the world for much of history. Anyway, we need to... We're just need to go again with very little warning. and with a lot less competent people. Because now he's injured, and Rook's injured. So, we're gonna need to be careful. Because this is actually not gonna go so well if we're not very, very careful. Luckily, Krumer doesn't betray us to help defend the bridge. He doesn't give a shit. So we have at least one Varl on our side. But we've got Faisal there. So these guys will all burn down our armor. Oh, Leander, I mean, CK2 is not on the list soon, but absolutely I would be interested in doing community streams with people who are better at the game than me. Especially once we get a few more regular viewers in here, I would absolutely be interested in doing things with you guys on stream with CK2 so that the people who know that game can focus on being good at it, and I can focus on seeing how the history actually functions. Which is kind of cheating, but I think also a pretty good compromise. Okay, so the nice thing is that Ayek can basically tank everybody, no problem. Because none of these guys have good armor break. They all have really bad armor break. They're all pretty weak. It's just my archers need to do archer things good, and it's body block for... So Ale body blocks on turn 1. Krumer's turn 2, he's currently blocked in. Krumer just straight beats this guy in a fight, so if I put Ekech and Onef out here on the flank, I think that's the best bet. Now, Stonewall rank 1, increases aggro, gives damage resistance, but he doesn't go for him. Oh, he does. Okay. He taunts. Interesting. He just taunted Ayek. Okay. So you can reach as long as if I put Krumer out here, you're safe from him. He goes against Ale, can't actually hurt him. Then that guy goes, he doesn't matter. Then he goes. Okay, good. What a plan. Okay, he did not resist all of it, but he resisted most of it, which was what I wanted. Now, Faisal has a fuck ton of armor, so we're gonna make him not. Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of CK2. I think it's super interesting, I'm just so bad at it. Actually, we can do a shenanigan here. Cause run through, oh, only does 2 tiles right now. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. So right now it just doesn't work on him. Okay, but we do that, which is fine. Now Rook can start... If Rook can get to here, that's a kill. That's risky, but I can kill Faisal this turn quite easily. Or I can do this. think that's probably better? I'm not sure. Not sure which is better. Because I can basically kill Phase Ult because I can just... $18.45? Okay then. 9, 9 armor means he's taking 4, 5, right? You have... no, 6. No. 6 and 2. 6 and 2 is 8. So that is a problem. That doesn't work well. Okay, then yes. What we'll do is we just attack at a distance, burn this guy's armor. Wait. Oh. He was required to do that. That's terrible. God dang it. So there's like 2 options here. The first one is that I use Forge Ahead on... wait, Ale can't get a turn before any of the people that are problems hit him. Because Rook can go before he does. And if Phase Ult dies... really, if either of these die, I've got some... Nay. Nay, I can't kill this guy fast enough. He is out. He doesn't kill Ale, though. He does not kill Ale. If I kill Phase Ult, though. I can kill Phase Ult right now. Which opens the door to him attacking Ale, but he has the same strength there, so he actually won't do it. He'll attack on armor instead, which is fine. So yeah. It's kill Phase Ult. Oh no, I fucked up. That was quite bad. I don't know how I take on... okay. This is still doable. No. That's... killing Phase Ult is bad, because then he moves up, he kills 14... oh, he actually no longer kills. Never mind, we're good. We are totally... or I can break this guy's armor. That's the other option. Or I break this guy's armor, kill Phase Ult later, since that's not a... I think I do that instead. Oh, shh. Okay, it's relying on Eke 2. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It doesn't matter. Ale is going to go down, no matter what I do. So, that's cool. I can't body block for him well enough. Which is such a shame. That's... oh, that's only 2? What? I don't understand. But... this is a good time for Rook to run in, because he's gonna be fine. Mark Prey does 2 armor break. 6 kills... okay, knocks him down enough to be not a huge deal. Okay, now... Ale can stonewall at Big to just draw aggro. Or we can kill other people. Okay. So who hits hardest now? 8 and 10, 9 and 13. Well, that's easy. Okay, this is actually going really, really close. I'm shocked at how close it is. Really? Because I didn't think that that would possibly go that... I didn't think this could go that well. I can attack any of them it looks like. No, I can't attack this guy, I can attack any of these three. But 6, 7, okay. And AO resisted, so now ONF is gonna go down, but it's not. That's not a big deal. I am really not bothered by that at all. Okay, who's strongest? Yep, ONF goes down. No big deal. And this kills easily. That did a lot of weird things. But if I move, that suddenly is even. So 8, 9, 10. There you go. Okay, see you, Capybara. It was nice to have you in here. You can always catch the VOD here and on YouTube, so you won't miss too much. We're about to finish blowing up this bridge, though. Getting this trade's probably good. Good. And I don't know. 2, 3. No armor left. Ow. And pillage. Okay, I don't know how we managed with only one casualty, but we did. So, look at us. We are so good at this game. ONF has been injured in battle. I was hoping he would just die, but sadly, my luck does not continue. And now Avon has successfully cracked the bridge. This is gonna be bad for us. We're just... You're under... It's like, I have literally only one thing. Literally only one. But Ivar is still alive. Thank goodness for that. He's fine, he's just short an arm, but he's fine. He's got his axe. He also has unnecessary approaches, and off we go. Ivar is the best. But they admit now there are no more Varl. There are just the ones who are left. And they'll live forever, but... or more or less forever. You've destroyed what we have made. What else is left of us? Will we leave no trace behind, as if we never existed? We have nothing left but ruins. Of Our Bones the Hills. This chapter title is a quote from the Skeldicum Haukonarmau, I believe, which, let me find the text of it. I'm pretty sure that's the right poem, I just have not looked up the text. Oh. Haukonarmau. Nay, it's not that. It's not in that poem. Okay, so it's. I know it's in one of them. That. It's a quote from A. Skeldicoum that there is. Of Our Bones the Hills. Now then. Lake Frosta. Edge. Dredge. We're gonna try and ambush them. And yo. Apparently, this girl we found in the ruin, or in the wastes, has a sixth sense to detect dredge. So we completely stomped them. But yo, Leander, ruins were not they definitely still exist, but that's actually a genuine reflection of Norse belief. Ruins, as far as I know, were not thought to be a real thing. Like that's a strong way of putting it, but if something that falls into ruin, it is no longer serving its role as a monument, and so is not really commemorating anything. And so, ruins, there were really no wood or no stone buildings in the Viking Age, and so if you destroyed a hall, you would usually move a little bit down the road to build the new hall, the new dynastic hall. But by destroying it and leaving the ruin and leaving that a scorched site, you are erasing that person or that family's legacy and that king's legacy and the signs that they were ruled. You're not building it up in the same spot because otherwise that's bad. Anyway, we seem to have a problem. Still, we are definitely going to we're going to try and leave it, because I do know that this hall does collapse, so kinda sucks. Okay. Well, c'est la vie. We have been traveling for 95 days. Jeez. And we have a thing of a companion group, from something. It's Ubin! We haven't seen him since the beginning of the game. Krumer and Ubin are two of the oldest Varl. The third one is dead, so they are now the two oldest Varl alive, and we have them both. But Ubin is got this nice little tradition, a little couple hundred years more recent than Jorundr, called writing. Well, sadly, we've got Belvoir on our tail. Yeesh. So we'll take a look at the map and see where that is. Just to see how crazy this flank was. It is absolutely huge. But, yeah. Belvoir does not like either. And we get another Varl. Thank God. More supplies, another Varl. This keeps us from getting screwed out. With 13 days of supplies now, we're in a lot better position. Okay, so we're actually going to stop and we're going to rest for a day because I need people to heal up. And we have Gunnulf. Massive green-clad Varl. Also, that is a huge sword. Like, that is grammar levels of huge. Fair enough, Gunnulf. I tried for another Varl. It did not work out. Owen pays well and gives him things to kill. Very important metrics. Hey. Okay, this is actually quite impressive. Screamer is the king before Jorundr. So, and we saw like Screamer's Bay on the map. We'll show that soon. So, yeah. He has had this sword for many years. Oh, and the cart that exploded is apparently the King's collection. The tax collecting. Simple man, we like him. Keep food in the cart, we're gonna be fine. Anyway, let's take a look at him, cause he's one of our big, like, finishers. Cause look at those stats. Look at those stats. We're also gonna promote a bunch of people up, since we have the renown for it. Now, we are absolutely going to improve his morale and ability to attack things. We're not going to worry about Egil because I'm pretty sure he's dead. So, unlucky. And they're backed by the Grudge Wielder Raid Master. We could make him rank 4. His stats have kind of changed a little bit, by the way. Also, so have his abilities. Nope, he still has heavy impact, he still has battering ram. Okay. Oh, he just headbutts them now. Smart. But his stats have changed. Which is actually very bad. Still, we'll promote him. I think that's probably our best use, because Ivor is easily one of the best units in this game. Exactly. Who needs a shield when you have a head? And with horns like these, why wouldn't you use them? No, actually, we won't worry too much about that. We'll upgrade his armor and his break. And we don't have the renown to promote him again, but promoting him again and just giving him 15 strength would be disgustingly good. But he's easily one of our best units. Also, this crit chance is just good on him. Goodnilf, Krumer is going to stay like that, and Rook is going to stay like that too. Okay. Now, we're going to take a look at our map. So, here we go, map is loading. Map is loading. Anyway. We're about halfway to Sigerholm. Although this isn't a super pleasant place to be. Still, there's some cool places here that we don't get to actually see. It's just... nobody knows how they got there. Darwin Stones. And Nightmoth. This should be like, literally like beef gathering place. So, it's Neiter, beef. Mot is cognate with English moot. So like Entmoot, gathering. So yeah, a gathering of beef. And they came from Wormtow all the way around the summer path here. Where is Old Father? Here's Old Father. We are right now passing it. So yeah, we are in some trouble. We're not gonna worry about like Hoikstorp or anywhere like that. Hoikert Hawk and Hawk's Square-ish. Anyway, the sword is that Gunnulf got from Screamerstead, so the third king of the Varl, he received that, and he started working with Ubin way back when. Oh, we blew it to smithereens, Capybara. We blew it to smithereens, and Jorinder nearly killed us, but Ivar saved our life. We got kicked out of Einartoft, and now Belluar, we found out, walked from the Bura Pass all the way around to Wormtow and down this, and is chasing us. So, yeah. Or more specifically, chasing Ivar. But we accept here no attempts. No, you only missed like the end of one fight and then a bunch of talking. So, not a whole lot too fancy here. Anyway, the path leading to Sigerholm veers off into the hills, which are now swimming with familiar black shapes. Let's send some scouts to see how bad this is. Okay. Well, what do you think? No super fancy explosion animations. This game does not have enough budget for that. What do you think, guys? Should we listen to our scout or should we not listen to our scout? Listen to our scout? Okay. It's true, they definitely are. Just... oh boy, so many dredges. And we're running a little low on supplies. It would only have been 3 days to Saga home if we fought through, assuming we win the fights. But if we got forced back, then we would just waste time. Uh-oh. Well, we got into a blizzard. So, blizzards are actually hugely dangerous. There's one story from the Saga of Guðmundur in Godi, so Guðmundur the Good, Saint Guðmundur in Iceland, though he was never actually canonized, where he's crossing Árnesheiði, and it takes so long to do his morning prayers that he ends up like leading his group into a snowstorm, exactly like this, and it gets complete whiteout conditions, and either you get lucky and find a farmhouse through the whiteout, or you just freeze to death. If we make a bonfire, I agree, it's definitely a good idea to try and find the lost clansmen, but if we wait for the question is scouting or making a bonfire, I think it's scouting. Still, we can do this and get a bit of a fight. Damn. No such luck. We lost a whole bunch of people, but there is a site here. More mouths. So, we just lost a bunch and then we just gained a lot more. Which means we're potentially in trouble. Aetherfang, crap, what is the word Aether? I know it. What is it? Oh. It's a word for poison. Okay. That's what it is. Yeah. It's 8. Oh, that's where I know it from. In Volsunga Saga, I think it was even last stream I mentioned that, or no, it was during one of the Hellblade streams. I mentioned that one of the tests Sigmundur placed for the children of Signy was if they could make some bread. Except inside the bag of meal was a snake. And the word that they use in the Old Norse for that is in mikill eiturormur. So, a great poison snake. So yeah. Never deflect. Oof, that's big. But 10% crit and no chance of getting deflected. But look at how much renown we can 10. If we cut down to 10, we'll actually be in a good position on we'll cut down to 9. Because that having 2 weeks of food would be quite valuable. I don't know that's needed, but it would be valuable. We'll have an even 2 weeks. And we'll immediately use one of those to heal. And we're still in trouble on morale. We'll actually rest one more time. And then we'll buy another day's worth of stuff. There we go. Well, this game doesn't really give me enough opportunities to use morale to its fullest, because everyone's exertion is still so low. It's actually super valuable. Well, need the archery strand of Oddleifer. We'll actually go back and look for more survivors. Well, that'll take us time, but we just bought a bunch of stuff, and we could use the fight. We could very much use the fight here. She has 2 points available. Neith is a bowmaster. So, mother of 3 kids, but she cannot miss if she uses this and gets way more range. So that's cool. Still, her stats are not great. Her stats are actually quite bad, if I'm being honest. And we're going to get Ivor back in the mix, because, oh boy, I badly need his strength. We'll keep Oddleif, we'll keep Rook. Part of me wants to use Gunulf, but I'm not super worried about that. Yo. Okay. So, we get into another fight, more Dredge. There's really not a whole lot of particular interest here. Just more of the same fights. Huh. I'd like to keep people away from him, though he's not nearly as strong as some of the other ones. And Oddleif can hug here. That buffs up both of these guys. And Ale can just run forward and take some damage. And we'll keep Rook near here as well. So yeah, we'll just have Ale run up, and 13, and we'll have him use the strong one, he's fine on that. Because now he resists all damage, while here we can abuse just how good some of these tools are. Well, lots of these things which suck, but that's okay. No, I don't want to move him there. Krumer, I guess, is just going to kind of hug the diagonal here. And Ale resists, which is awesome. We're just going to play it slow, because these things are going to start exploding soon. Hopefully I can get Ivar off of this before things go poorly. But still, that should cause this big chain. And Eket or Ale will do the same thing, just closer. This is really what he's best for. Damn. 3, 4, 5. Ah, we've got the... Nah, we'll do it. We'll only hit him for 5. Chink, chink, chink. That misses everyone, which is awesome. He resists, and oddly should be positioned to start doing things. You still got that, you still... Nah, we'll hit this guy, he's up next. Because that should hopefully force him away and up, so he can only attack Ale. Easily. Cool. That worked great. And... oh, thank you so much for the 100-bit cheer, Myths and Legends. I appreciate that. I'm trying to find a history fact video here. It's a tiny bit tricky, but one thing is that, I guess, let's talk about like archers and ranged weapons. Because for much of the Viking Age, ranged weapons weren't really a thing you worried about. And certainly, even in the post-Viking period, not such a strong thing. If we do this, bink, 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 it just chains everything together, which is very fun. Actually, I shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. Still 7, 9. Yo, anyway, there were not very many things that I would say were a big focus of ranged weaponry. It was just not super popular. And the English poem, The Battle of Maldon, there is a statement of one that is cool. That's actually good for us, mostly. Because that lets me reposition in a way that is not in range of things. Rook might be in trouble, though. Anyway, in the 9th century poem, the Battle of... or 10th century poem, in Old English, the Battle of Maldon, describes something that looks like Old English... Old English tactics, which are equivalent on the English and the North side. There's not really a difference between the two there. And what we see in that poem is that there's this exchange of throwing spears before the battle starts, but after the battle starts, there's really no sort of equivalence in how they work. There's no ranged weapons at all. They throw the spears, and then once the lines meet, that's it. This is kind of supported in Volostyle. When the Aesir Vanir War is described, the spear is thrown first, and then they engage. But archery is not really described, and other sorts of ranged weaponry like slings is not so much described. But despite not having descriptions of slings, and of course slings don't survive, slings don't survive in the archaeological record very easily. So they certainly probably did exist for various uses. Certainly for hunting, you'd have slings if you can't get a handbow, and there's certainly improvement over just thrown rocks. So they probably existed, but as far as I know, there's no surviving Viking Age slings, and they may actually just have faded out of use by the Viking Age period. In the contemporary sagas, so 13th century Icelandic texts dealing with the 13th century, their battles have changed a little bit, and so one of the main things that happens in battles is the main sort of tactic for much of a fight was throwing rocks at each other. So, they, yep. Like at the Battle of Orlingstadir, one of the main defenders eventually gets just so badly concussed he can't keep on fighting. But past that, Sturla Thordarson attributes that as one of the reasons why his cousin lost the battle and was killed, is that the strongest defenders were doing super well until he got hit on the head with a rock too many times and got concussed. But at that same battle, out of the about 200 combatants, actually I don't think it's quite that many, there were 40 deaths, so, I don't know, like 150 combatants. There was one person with a bow. He missed every single shot. And eventually, Sturla's half-brother, Olafur also his cousin, sorry, Snorri Sturluson's illegitimate son, knocked the bow out of that guy's hands because it's like, Jesus, you're so bad at this. Now, Sturla tries to defend that guy, saying he was usually a very good shot and he was just having a bad day. But yeah, that's one of the, certainly in an Icelandic context, using bows in battle was a powerful tool, but one that seems to have not been all that popular. Instead, they just threw chunks of the Icelandic landscape at each other. It's very strange. Anyway, so what do you guys think? Take these guys or not? Outlaws are pretty handy for a more peaceful time. In Iceland, certainly, and in Scandinavia as well, because outlaws are allowed to do things that other people aren't allowed to, by sheer virtue of the fact that no one cares if they get killed. It's in their best interest to take on any job to keep the protection of the local lord. Otherwise, they're allowed to be killed on sight. So, pretty much everyone used outlaws as a way to help make sure that everyone, all the dirty work got done. So if you needed a slave killed, someone to guard sheep in a difficult situation, or anything else of that sort, you could hire an outlaw. In return, they'd help you out, and the favor is that you'd help protect them from the people trying to kill them. This was just standard practice. In Iceland, pretty much every saga has. Oh yeah, and then someone requested an outlaw to do some bit of dirty work. Like Njal Saga, Bergthora, the wife of Njal, hires an outlaw to steal some bread and cheese from some people who are hoarding it in a famine, and then burn down the rest of the food. Anyway, the Godstone of Dundr passes around you. In the frozen climates here, it looks like the rock has split and is falling apart, held together only by the deep snow. Curiously, when standing between the stones, the wind drops off completely, picking up again once you've passed through. I almost wonder if we should rest here for the night, says Ivor, who seems to have noticed the same thing. With all the snow around it, Dredge might not even be able to find us. We're gonna do that, it's gonna be weird, because the Godstones still clearly have power. Anyway, you walk around camp before settling in. Along each strand of Dunder's massive beard is carved a different part of his story, and you turn your head to and fro to read it. While the Loom Mother was the first to create, she soon found a counterpart in Dunder, who embodied her ideals in a masculine form. Dunder took some of her creations, gave them beards, and showed them the secrets of smithing, though many remember him just as fondly for teaching them games and songs of mirth. As the camp settles in, you notice a group of boys huddled around something. They show you an offering box carved into the Godstone itself. The box is an elaborate construction of interlocking pieces which slide around when it's touched. We can't get it open, they tell you. It's like a puzzle. We're gonna try and open it. Yo, the boys take turns working out the puzzle and give you tips when it's your turn, though you don't seem to make much progress. Eventually they leave to sleep until it's just you and a couple other determined youngsters. Give up and go to sleep. Instead of spending all night on a silly game, you go to a letter and huddle together to keep warm. You wake up with a thought so profound it strikes you like lightning. Rushing to the puzzle box, you hear your fingers moving with purpose until you hear a click. The lid springs open. Inside is nothing. Oh no, says the boy who was watching. What a waste of time. To your surprise, when you close the lid, the whole box detaches from the stone. With a shrug, you take it with you. You're certainly glad you didn't spend all night working on this. Aw. Morale declined, morale improved. Puzzle box of the Twin Rivers. We'll take a look at that next time we get into a fight. So, there was the God of Smithing, and we are finally passing out of the cold lands into the warmer lands. Morale's pretty crap, but we're close. Unnar, the quirky old man with a leather headband, says, "There's one thing I know better than women and mead. It's, well," he smiles, "well, nothing. But I know when a group could use some help. Just nod and let old Unnar make everything better. No questions now." Do we trust him? Do we trust him, guys? He says no questions, so we can't ask him what on earth we're talking about. That's cheating. I'm tempted to say yes, just to see what happens. Because that's not the choice I've made yet in a playthrough of this game. So... and he's been cheerful for us before, so maybe he'll be helpful. Let's do it. That evening, Unnar clears his throat and loudly recites a tale of travellers, ending with war and death behind them, seeking hope instead. They carried on with courage using heart and head. A strange poem, but the caravan is happy for a change of pace. Unnar bows and turns to assist the cooks. The evening's meal is larger than ever, yet the supply wagons seem more full than before. You look to thank Unnar, but he is gone. So, it seems to be that there still are divine and supernatural entities in the area. We've also finally made it to Hoigstorp. Well, we're also close to an event I know is coming up, but I am not looking forward to. In the distance, Hoigstorp smolders like an old campfire. Even from here you can see the black figure shambling through it. That looks like a dead town, remarks Eva, confirming your suspicions. There's usually survivors, Oddleif reminds you. I think we need another fight. Oh. There we go. More dredge. The team still seems good. And... I don't know, do we promote anyone? We have 19, we're gonna get more right now though, so I think we do that. War leader is good, Rook, Alette. I think Outlife actually is a good choice here. We'll up that so she does even more break, and we'll give her more renown so she can do more sky striking. Also, yeah, let's take a look at this. So, puzzle box of the Twin Rivers. A complex wooden pattern holds this box shut against the undedicated, changing each time it is opened. +1 will per turn, +3 will. This thing is crazy. +3 will on Ever here with 3 exertion means he has 11, so we can move 7 spaces and then hit someone for 6 armor break or possibly up to like 12, well, maximum of 16 damage. So this is a huge benefit for us. And this still seems to be good. So, yo, we're not surrounded, which is a great beginning. We do have a lot of dredge on us, though. Very few slingers, which is actually incredibly helpful. But, well, a lot of defensive force. Shield slam, shield slam, shield slam. Backs off, backs off, backs off. Okay, but with this, also 3 armor break, 3 armor break, 4 armor break. So, plenty of people dangerous here, but still not too bad as long as we move quickly and with some purpose. Actually, I'm gonna switch where these guys are. Okay. Because on the off chance that these guys are up like this, I can make him, if I put A here, then I can make him spend a will for very little benefit. Cool, he's now at 0 will, which helps us a lot because his abilities then are totally trash. But I think we move here because that gives Ivor the most armor. And we can attack here for literally 6. Okay. Also, we can do a lot of break there. Or what we can do is we can put... No, that doesn't... That will not matter. Even if I trapped this tile, which I could, that's not what makes this guy so dangerous. So, instead we will actually save that, and we will focus on just doing a whole lot of damage there. That's fair. You're still stonewalled, so that still is what you're going to do. And what we can do is we can put Kruma right behind him to help keep him in a good position. completely resisted, which is awesome news. Sadly, not a whole lot I can do there, but okay, I know how to do this. I will attack him on armor for 2. That should be enough. As long as you attack on EL. That works out fine. Mark Prey down to 8. So hits for 3 and... dang. Cool. Got the kill. And he is going to Stonewall again for the same amount of oomph. Ivor takes 1 step forward. Hits him for just everything. And that resists. And now, steps forward, Rain of Arrow. So, we'll end up trapping 1 tile, which is most likely this one, I think. I think that's the most likely direction he moves. Or he just doesn't move at all. Okay. Irritating. Now, could step there. Or I could step here. I think I step forward this way. Because hit for 11. Buff up those armors and breaks more shields. Cool. Generally, no trouble here. Same deal. Mark Prey, strength 2. This guy knocks him down pretty far. And now he has resisted so much damage that it's kind of hilarious. We'll use him to actually play the game now. Dude, you can't do that. Also, notice, he constantly gets more... Constantly is getting more will. So he just basically cannot run out now. Which is hugely impactful. Cool. There we go. We'll just kill this guy outright. And he's moved close, so he can hit him. He runs way out into no man's land. And gets a kill here. Which means that he gets to go, but he's no longer scary, so... Rook is going to focus on killing this guy. He is going to attack Rook, which kind of hurts, but also is not that big a deal. And that's why these guys are scary. 3 damage, Ivor can get another kill. Quite easily. And you're done. And Kramer gets a kill. I do really genuinely like the morale system in this. It enables a lot of very fun shenanigans. But the related... Well, I guess we can talk a little bit about morale and tactics, because the emphasis this game places on morale is pretty good. Oh wow, 1 renown gets 10. Alright, well that's easy. Björk of Leander. +2 armor every turn. That's pretty massive. +1 break. Sadly, I need to save that renown for other things. Anyway, we'll talk about need and then we'll talk to need and then we will get back into it. Well, morale and tactics. Morale is legitimately extremely important in the Viking Age. While there's kind of this modern stereotype of the Vikings as being totally fearless and completely eager to go die, and had no real conceptions of morale being an issue or need for that. The idea of routing or running out of morale is something that in modern stereotype is basically completely unthinkable. This does not reflect historical reality at all. There's no other way to phrase it. It just has absolutely no relation to historical reality. Certainly some individuals may have been eager to go get themselves killed and die in glory, but in general we know from medieval annals, both by non-Vikings and then the evidence in the sagas themselves, well, that's somewhat later, and is so definitely not reliable for historical mindsets, I think does indicate some sense of acknowledgement that even in the past, that's not how that works. Specific example from a saga would be in the saga of Saint Olafur, so Olaf's saga Helga, where at the battle where Olafur dies, he actually needs to be on the front lines because if he didn't, his people were going to rout. That also happens in a whole bunch of the Fortnaldur and in the Íslendingasögur and everything else. So it's kind of common in the sagas that sort of running out of morale and routing is a big deal, and that's why the king or leader, warband leader, needs to be on the front lines with his men performing acts of glory to inspire them to also do the same thing. This is kind of bog standard practice since until very recently, that's actually been required. The exact same thing happens in the Third Crusade, where Richard the Lionheart ends up needing to go out and help besiege Antioch himself in order to help inspire the men to keep up the siege. So, it is just very, very standard and very human that you need someone on the front lines to help inspire them to greatness. Caesar does the same thing in De Bello Gallico and De Bello Civilo. So it's Civilico? My Latin is rusty. It's bog standard, and the Vikings were no different than anyone else. They had their own conceptions of trauma and of running out of morale and routing and being outmatched and fear And all of that still holds true. The need tea. So while some individuals may have had that, by and large that stereotype is non-existent and a little bit, or inaccurate and a little bit nonsensical, I should say. Another good example of the other kind of running out of morale and running out of the will to live is in Saga. Okay, so much for that. I think we're going to keep at normal morale for now. We'll rest again if we need to, but I know we've got some real difficulty coming up in trying to get to the next place. Anyway, someone's been nicking extra goods. And there we go, we've dealt with that tiny crisis. And you can see that there's a whole bunch of, well, looks like there's dredge trying to line the hills. So we're in some trouble. But we have another godstone, which is helpful. Oh, this godstone seems to be of a shield maiden, and has a whole bunch of intentionally fake runes. These are sloppily carved on purpose, but many of these letters are also upside down. So they're not. There is no way that these are meant to actually refer to something. They are upside down, they are backwards, and there is no rhyme or reason as to which one goes which. So, luckily, I'm not even going to try and translate them. This is clearly a Futhark-looking nonsense. The godstone for Ingrid, goddess of knowledge, looks on as the caravan takes a much-needed rest. Ivar shooes some children away from a solitary dredge slinger lying dead beneath the stone. Should we be worried about that? You ask Ivar, pointing to the dredge body. I don't think so, he replies. Still, couldn't hurt to have a few guards look around. Hours pass without warning. Inspect the godstone. Ingrid's godstone is carved with ancient runes which don't make much sense to you, though Eyvind tells you some of the menders have deciphered them. It's how the menders learned the language of the gods. Past the largest stone, a long series of slabs contain more writing all the way down the hill. The odd thing, he tells you, is that the writing occasionally changes depending on who is reading it. Usually it describes the history of the gods, but it can be about nearly any topic. Sadly, Eyvind doesn't know how to read it himself. You could, he said. Pack up and move on. Okay, here's a fun thing. As you're readying to depart, you hear screams from near the main godstone. The same boys so curious about the dead dredge before are shrieking and pointing. For a moment you think it must not have been dead, but then you see they have opened a wrapping that was in the dredge's hands. Wait, says Ivar, his arm across your chest. This shouldn't be seen. Get everyone away. A chill sweeps over you. Aletta pushes past and gasps. Stop, shouts Ivar, but the curious onlookers have already seen it. So, believe it. On the ground before the dead slinger is a small stony figure, its hands searching for something it can't find. That's a baby. That dredge is a woman? We've been killing women. We've been slaughtering women and children this whole time? Leaving them to die? In a war, it's only the males who fight. We've been fighting these dredge the whole way. Why are women with children on their backs attacking us? They're not invading, they're running. When I spoke to Yuno, she told me something was coming. She didn't know what. A darkness, something black, is covering the world, and the dredge are running from it just as we're running from them. The serpent, the quake, it's all the beginning of the end. Eivor, you knew. Why? Why didn't you say something? And now we get to hear Eivor's story. When I was young, I killed one of the Sunder during the Second Great War. We called it Raise. Every time we would build our defenses, it would flatten them and push us back again. I became separated from the rest of the world and stumbled upon Raise deep in a snowstorm, alone. She was nursing. I threw my axe. It twisted in the wind. Her son died in her arms. She was so pathetic, kneeling in the snow. She didn't even try to stop me when I took her head. That's how I killed the Sunder. When I found my way to Grotheim, the Varl wanted to make me Kender, next to be king. I left, walked until I ended up in Skogar, where no one knew what I had done. Poor Eivor. So, here is a question. Do we take the child with us? Well, I'm waiting for that to catch up and make the decision to say a little more on morale, and also still is relevant because the death of a son features in it. At the very end of Egil Saga Skatla Grimsson, when Egil is an old man, his sons die in a storm at sea. Egil becomes so despondent that his sons are gone, and that he outlives them, that he stops eating, stops venturing outside, and instead composes a very long poem while wasting away. That poem is one of the most beautiful pieces of poetry in Icelandic literature, in my opinion, but deals... I'm in fact putting it to a chatbot. But, that kind of loss of morale and loss of the will to live and the inability to keep pushing on is one of the alright, we've got votes for adopting it, let's go. Oof, that causes some mixed reactions, but so be it. So that kind of loss of will, I think, reflects the morale in this game somewhat better than just the routing does, because obviously even if you are dead out of morale, your units don't rout. But that means they are unable to push beyond their push into higher limits, and they're unable to really keep fighting as effectively as they could. So that kind of loss of morale, loss of will, is, I think, really valuable. A very valuable comparison to this game. And we get something from the goddess. But we Valdurun silver brooch. But morale is not super happy about this. So we may need to rest one more time, but I am really reluctant to do that because with 8 days of supplies, Sigarholm's not a good place to earn up anything. Well, we've got more problems. Okay, it's Ubin and Krumer arguing. They're just both being old. I'd rather be known for not dying. How very sensible of him. Krumer seems to think he can take Bellower. No, please don't stop. Just knowing that there's a damn good number of dredge on us. Lovely. Also, shouts to Krumer. I mentioned weaponry a few times, but here's a good example. Warhammers. The two-handed warhammer of this type is most common in the later 14th, 15th, and 16th centuries in continental Europe as a reaction to plate armor, because this thing trashes plate. Against what these guys are wearing, mostly linen tunics, some bits of steel, some bits of mail, it is completely unnecessary. And in fact, mail will largely be pretty good. Chainmail would be better against a warhammer than a breastplate would, because chainmail moves. And anything that moves takes a lot of the oomph out of blunt weaponry. This is true. The dredge are made of rock, and it does not move well, and Krumer is the one who told us, you hit the dredge hard enough, the armor crunches, and it splinters off and damages the armor down the line. So against the dredge, it's actually a really good piece of armor. That's a good point. I just completely spaced that, but you are correct. Flanged mace, the type we've seen, and a warhammer would both be incredibly good against stone armor, and just shattering that. It's just anachronistic for the Viking aesthetic, but hey, that's actually a really good justifiable reason. Now, there we go. We lose some Varl? Yep, we need to do that. We need to rest, because that's no good. Unfortunately, we should only be a couple days out. We'll load the map again to take a look at that, because we should be really close to Sigurdholm at this point. We are not going to waste time in Sigurdholm. No, actually, we may end the stream in Sigurdholm. That would not be bad. Going for 2 hours and 15 minutes, well, we don't, that's not so important, okay. So yeah, we just went around here. So we're almost at Sigurdholm. We should be about like 2 days away. But then we're going to be low on supplies entering Bowersgard. Unless we can find more somewhere. Reynivik will hopefully have some. But this is where we end up. So we could be in trouble, but could be okay too. We just can't afford to waste any time in Sigerholm with how bad the situation is. Because we are pretty dire on days of supplies. Woohoo! We cannot afford to stop, but we can at least get some more renown. Good, there's Sigerholm in sight. We'll make it either today or tomorrow. And the Krumer's fine. Krumer is very strange, but I love him dearly. He is one of my favorite characters in this game because he just does not care. And we have another. Well, this I would suspect is a reference to Thor and Utgard the Loki, where Thor. Okay, dialogue. But we have a lot of renown right now, so, well, it's going to be close. I'd like to spend most of this renown upgrading our team, though, I thought the event I've been fearing would be was already going to happen, but it should be close. Anyway, event, Yuno's not here. But let's take a look at our new items. And yo, how long are you willing to wait? Yes, our 4 days of supplies are gonna do that. Yeah. We're going to spend 1 day here to get our morale, and then we're leaving. I'm not wasting time in this town because it just doesn't. It does nothing. Now, we also got some sweet new items. We have this one, Vadrun Silver Brooch. Given as a charm by the god Ingrid to ward off disaster, it bears the inscription Persevere. +1 strength resist. So you just don't take damage. If it's only 1 strength, you just do not take damage. And Dunder's Hand. According to myth, the god Dunder needed these gloves just to lift his hammer of creation, heavy as it was. +3 strength. Okay, so this is actually not referring to Thor and Utgard the Loki, where there's Screamer's glove, which is as big as a hall. But instead, this is looking like it's his belt, Thor's belt, and Thor's gloves, being tools he needs to be able to lift Mjolnir. Now, Thor was never a forge god. Let's just be clear on that. While there are that has been an argued interpretation. I think it's a very much inaccurate one. Thor is not a Forge God. We're gonna... that's 20 of my 38 now. That's annoying. I'd like him to use this. Well, probably that's objectively better. I don't know. I do not know. Oh, really, who I would like to use this is Gunnulf. Because then, if I got him maxed out at 21 strength, he'd have more strength than Bellower. Which would be awesome. Sadly, no such luck. So I think we promote Alette. That. And that. Yo. What else do we do? I think we save that because we're going to spend quite a bit of renown here to just survive. Because I don't have enough. Well. I don't have very much food, as you might notice. Yo! Let's stop at the market first and see what we've got here. Statue of a sightless man. Also incredibly good. 20% chance to dodge strength, plus 2 strength. Okay, so that actually gets us more than I thought we would get. If I do that, that gets me up to 7. Maybe I'll at least buy this for the second game. Because that's actually, if nothing else, it'll be useful then. That's probably not a great way to look at it, but, you know, it's something. Anyway, we get to talk here to Avond about this, and just to see how it is. Worried doesn't begin to describe it. She doesn't find us here, or something has happened to her. Are you sure you saw was real? It could have been a dream, or... I don't know. You were pretty exhausted. I don't think I bought the supplies either, but luckily we can just go back and buy them. I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure anymore. Everything is a blur. Don't tell the others I said that. Anyway. Exposition! Being a mender, I guess I never really thought about it like that. It's just part of me. They knew very young that I would join the order. Born into it, you could say. My mother and father, both menders. The guild is for lots of people now, builders and healers. Do they all pull lightning out of the sky? No, that's not normal. It's one of the reasons I know you know. She's one of the council. She helps me control things like this, so we don't end up scaring people. Well, the hardest part is usually seeing the threads. Everything is part of the tapestry. It's made of threads, woven together. If you can see the threads, you can manipulate them. I don't know how to explain it, really. It's like trying to play a harp with invisible strings. Look at my staff, for example. Some menders carve intricate patterns in the wood to help them to remember the shapes of... like I said, hard to explain. Why is Bellower following us? I saw Grofheim as it burned. The sunder blew through it like a tempest. The Varl fell in thousands. Most of the sunder left the city and headed south. Who knows where they are now? They might be destroying every town they come to, or heading towards Arberek. Bellower stayed in Grofheim, just for the sport of it, I think. As we fled to Einartoft, I thought he must want to wipe the Varl off the map completely. But then he came after us. Maybe he knew Ivar was one who killed Reyes. Maybe, but let's just make sure he doesn't catch up. Do you think this is the end times? I don't know what to think. I wish I could give you a better answer. Even if we escape the dredge, that serpent-sided darkness was covering the world. I don't know how long that will take, or what it means, even. I'm just trying to solve one problem at a time. The Menders are in our building. If we can find ships and make it to the capital, we might have a chance. No, it's okay, Rook. I appreciate the talk. It's good to stay grounded. I spend all day worrying about serpents or cinder. I think a lot of people are intimidated or scared, maybe, of me. Don't worry, it's nothing new. I'm used to it. Maybe sometime we can talk about things that don't include the world ending. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? I did not, in fact, buy the supplies. Well, yo, I need to save 10. That'll give me 6 days. We will rest 1 day. And we lose some of those supplies, but it's... so be it. Problems. We've got... so, we are leaving now? Because screw that. We'll be slow growing our... well, this is some Oregon Trail shit. What do you think the way we're least likely to get screwed out of our troubles is? We don't have supplies is kind of the problem. But literally Oregon Trail right now. Now we might play that game at some point in the distant future just to see old history games. But, well, lots of ways to die. Attempt to ford, cock the wagons and float across, pay some locals to float, to help or detour around the flooding. I also dislike we only have 6 days worth of food. So, we don't have a lot of time to avoid it, so I think, well, if things tip, we're in trouble. But, yo, it is a very, very risky circumstance all around. I've been rubbish at Oregon Trail since the beginning, as it turns out. Yo, let's do that. Well, took us a lot of supplies, unfortunately. Minus 18. Oh god, that's 4 days worth of food, but we escaped. Okay. We are really low on food. Hopefully, Reykjavik has a little bit more. Because at this point I just need to save my renown for getting food. Because we are about to be in trouble. You can tell by the spooky music we're also about to be in trouble. Well, leave a couple of wagons and pretend you never... well... I think we'll tell them about the dredge and then attack them if they don't care. Yo, okay. Here we go. Big fight. Krumer, get back in here. Orderly. Got these, but we can't do anything with them. Plus some strength resist is kinda cool, but not super needed. You've just got aggro, break. Yeah, well, we're killing them, so we should have no problem crushing these guys. Actually, I want to get Gunnulf in here. He's gonna be pretty... If we can get him into the fight, he's gonna be actually quite useful against humans. Because these guys are not that strong. Loading, loading. Oh wow, there's only 4 of them. Or 5. I can count. Actually, you know, we'll put up there, and yo. Here we go. Stonewall. Take that. Okay, he's gonna attack Oddlife, which is terrible. Frustrating, I thought I put her out of range. Luckily, like, as long as she stays alive, she has really good armor break anyway, so I can basically set this guy up perfectly for Gunnulf with no effort. Oh yay. Of course he hit 4 times on goddamn... Vel. He hit exclusively on strength on something with a random chance to do that. It is the worst. Now, he did the same thing that Ayild normally does. But, anyway, if we can... Well, if I hit this guy on armor break, that should set him up. Nay, 4 there would be down to 3, that doesn't matter. We can hit this guy for 7 and it would be better. Though I should have actually marked prey on him. And this is what I like. Boop. Amazing. That's fine. He also cannot make it, so 4. Yeah, we'll just do that. Puncture is a very good skill, because archers, if they stand still, will just keep dealing more damage to archers. Now, I need that guy to stay alive so that Gunnulf has a chance to have another turn. Awesome. Gunnulf does get his other turn in, which is pretty great. Not that it's going to make a huge difference, but I can kind of have him just run in here, and we'll actually burn a renown on that, so he can hit for 7. See, this time he hits almost entirely on armor, which is way better for me. Oh, yo. Yo, he's absorbing that damage. That's alright. And that kills Oddlife. So, kind of annoying, but not really a big deal. Yo, he's not... No problem, we just activate Pillage and move on. I don't... Why did you bother doing that? We'll give him more armor. And... we can use him to just stop his armor too. He'll rest so you get more will back. And Rook gets a kill. There we go. We got that sweet renown. Only one injury, that's not bad. And... more renown. Which means more ability to do things, but... we've got another bad event coming up in just a moment. And we are almost out. I should have... Yo. This is the event I have been dreading for the entire time. Go, good, loyal. Einartoft. There is nothing I can do here. This event will just happen as it happens. So... unfortunately, I've been hinting at this, or basically just flat out saying this for a long time. Oh no, this shifty guy right here. If he joins your group, Ale will die. There are only 4% of routes, of possible routes through this game where Ale survives. This playthrough is not one of them. It's always been about trust, and we got stabbed. Yo. Yo. We do get to watch a cutscene of... Oh no, sorry, it is just our group smushes Onaf and his fighters. Which is great. Olette's in trouble, but I do need an archer, so I'll actually just go out this way. Yeah! Yeah! Tons of ways that poor kid dies. This is one of them. And there is no way to know about this ahead of time unless if you were a Kickstarter backer for the game. If you were, you won. But we were not. So yo, this is our luck. We are going to promote Krumer, because being able to manipulate the order of things is good. 3 there, and we'll up his strength more. Yo! So on that delightful note, 15% crit on a guy that hits like a truck. Actually no, we need to give him strength resist. That's just better. Ekit's in the fight. Ekit is in the fight. Oh. Okay, good, that's there. Wait, what? What did I give? Yo, I can give that to you, then give that to you. Ready for battle. Yeah! Doesn't it suck? Luckily, despite this, Oddleifer actually survives this. She's okay. She's gonna be okay. But, well, everyone else is not. There's on. Oh, there he's just a backbiter right now. Okay. Raider Shieldsman, Archer. I can use her from way in the back line here. Ekit can protect her. Nah, damn it. I'll put Ivor here, I'll put Gunnulf there. And I guess we'll put... Nay. 7-7. Nay. I guess that's the best option though. It's the best of a bad situation. But, well, this copy-pasted sprite is dead. And good. Okay, that wound up being fairly harmless. He cannot reach, well, he can make it far enough, but not to do what he needs to. There we go. Yo, he'll attack here, which kinda sucks, but is not the end of the world. Now, we'll actually have Rook... Nay, I don't know. He has enough strength, I'm not too worried, so maybe I actually do this. Mark Prey, 1. Gunnulf just kills him. There, we killed Onaf. Oh, ha, he just wasted his turn. Okay. Yo. So much for that, so much for that. Cool, the archer dies. That makes things way easier for me. Yo, and you Attack him for that, yo. And you get hit for 9. And off we go. Oh, with 7. Well, if we get lucky... Aw, we did not get lucky. Nay. Nay. Stop it. Mark Ray. Rank 2. 10. Ah, that doesn't actually do a whole lot. Okay. Yo! That's alright, we're doing okay now. And can I control the initiative order from this distance? Forge ahead. I can switch him up one, which would let me immediately activate. Yo, that's good. We can do that because that switching him up the order means that this is enough to get this kill, which causes pillage, which means we get to just stomp him quickly. Very quickly. 4, 5. Got it. No one dropped. We are fine. We are very, very much fine. Except for all the deaths. Leif is fine, she's just injured. AL is dead. And she did okay. Alette stabbed him in the eye and killed him. Alright. Parents of Alette after her body. No, I'm not hurt. I hadn't. Ivor, I found them. Yo. So yeah, that happened. Like that. I only hope I did enough. But it's a good thing Avon was here. She's going to pull through, though it was a nasty wound. Yo! All the people I couldn't save. Nobody expects you to raise the dead. I should do this, or I'll talk to you right before it happens. Kid, held a good deal of Zen. Well then. So Ekir could have told us this a lot earlier. So yeah. Ekir was always just a barking dog you put in the yard to find out who your enemies are. Yeah. Or the worst, they take all the supplies and leave the rest as dredge bait. You draw the line, Rook. Yo, Ivar focuses on the big picture here. But we are straight up out of supplies. We just don't have any. We have no supplies left. So we have no time to wait. Look who it is, still not dead. How are things, Rook? I can never guess with you, I heard you helped drive off the traitors when Omnef attacked us. And it leaves me always wondering, what's your deal? I'm not so hard to understand, why don't you try asking instead of telling? He says he's not so hard to understand, and then says we don't know. Anyway, the worst part is, became king when he married my sister. She died of a fever one night. She didn't. She wasn't sick. He killed her. I don't know why he did it. Maybe he just felt like it. So furious, I got so angry that I wanted him to beg. I could kill him without a second thought, but that wasn't enough. I was sick about it. Yeah, well, he was an abusive, traitorous bastard the whole time. I'll just say it wasn't my idea. Did I? I just have to call him a traitor before you got the message. I was gonna murder your whole family. Didn't let me in on the details. He was always like that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to convince you to off me. But listen, I don't need to know, so keep it to yourself. But no plans to go anywhere. Do you want to walk around with him next? No, not watch. A strange man. He is probably the most Viking-y of the lot, to be honest. But Oddleif is alive, which is good. Oddleif wins and she rises to greet you. Doing a lot better. That's for sure. Ah, well, I'm really glad you're... You would have missed me, Rook! Look, she smiles. Without Avon, that's all you could have done. I had to put up with my crap a little longer. It's not like you wouldn't believe. Maybe you would. But you took a stabbing yourself. Because things could have gone worse. Yo! Well... There's just a lot of exposition here. There's not a whole lot of interesting things to say, I think. Well. But we are kind of in shock from this, and we've been going for 3 hours, so this is also where we're about to end the stream. Before we continue, before we leave camp, this is where we'll end, and we'll pick up next time. It should save just from the end of the event, so we should be fine. First, to give you a dirty look for suggesting it. On the other hand, I got a sword in my back. Don't send anyone away. You're welcome to keep me company. I'm really on the way from you. I'll talk to you later. So, yeah. On that depressing note, this is where we will end our stream for the day. Next stream should be the last... next Monday should be the last stream of this game. We should be able to finish it, and then we'll probably take a week off of Banner Saga, and then get started on the second game in the series. I do plan to go through the whole trilogy, just to see how that story, that continuous story evolves, and see if there's things they change with the adaptation and understandings of the Norse aesthetic. There are definitely some things, just so you know, there's definitely going to be things that change in the second and in the third game. It all looks very different and not very long. But this is where we will leave off. The next stream will be Wednesday at 5 PM GMT, normal time. We're going to be doing Fire Emblem, continuing Fire Emblem 4. I'll fix my terrible mistakes there. We'll finish Chapter 2, and then I am going to, hopefully, depending on how much time I have, I'm also going to try and do a speed run of Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones, the 8th game in the series, to just try and get a couple snippets of how the names are being used differently in post-Kaga Fire Emblem and Kaga Fire Emblem to see just how differently they construct the narrative and how differently they construct in Epic. So yeah, Wednesday. That's going to be Wednesday's goal. That might be a long stream. But yeah, I will see you all then. Bye-bye.